back again.
Come on, Ian. Man. Come on. And we're back. People deluded, I'm back again. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and in some cases, good night. Hope everyone's well. Hope that's the same for your loved ones. And I hope you're all blessed, man. Join the conversations. How do we feel about Morgan Rogers to Arsenal? How are we feeling about the transfer news now, people? Because all of you lot were losing. Granted, we ain't signed no Gomares, no Rogers, no this, no that, and we have to sit tight until bids are agreed, medicals, etc. But all this crashing out, Arsenal are not doing anything, man. Look at our rivals, man. We won the league, man. Burton's not looking better than they do. Did you not learn from last season? Just tranquilo yourselves, man. Don't judge the football club at the start. Judge them at the end. Fair enough. You can get nervous, you can get excited, you can get this, you can get that. But at the end, God forbid, it's either two ways. We've done everything we need to do to give us confidence that, you know, not only can we retain our Premier League title, but if we're in cup finals like the League Cup and the Champions League, we can get that done. Or the other way where, you know, God forbid, we haven't made no improvements. Now, we know it's a twofold. We know there's several spinning parts. We need people that can evolve this system, evolve our starting 11 and level raisers. We know last season was more, the emphasis was more on depth, but clearly we've got depth. We need to get depth. There's a lot of moving parts. We knew at some point, listen, whether it was going to be in the World Cup or at some point this season, every one of our players put their bodies on the line, especially the core of our players, the Sakas of this world, Achilles issue, hip issue, hamstring issue, Gabriel Magalhaes, William Saliba with his back and ankle, Declan Rice, numerous injuries. It was going to happen. So we need depth, we need level raisers, and there's some moving parts. Benjamin White is someone that it does feel like, or it did feel like he was going to be moved on. Mixture of him being injured and obviously Saliba's back staff maybe shifts our dynamics. There's players that we probably want to move on, but we won't move them on until we get replacements. Players we want, the other clubs are going to do the same things. Players we want to move on, but there's no offers. There's several changing parts. But as I said, depth, level raisers. And I think when you look at Andrea Berta, you know, last summer speaks for itself. The number of the new contracts he's given speaks for itself. Finally, as an Arsenal fan, during this Emirates Stadium, whether you rate Arteta, Berta, or Josh Kroenke or not, we're all aligned. So we can't rest on our laurels. He's done well, given Arteta a platform to build up on. You know, he bucked Arteta the players. Arteta winning the title. Obviously, we've given new players contracts. I do think there's an emphasis on the wage bill. I don't think we're like some clubs, oh my God, we need to sell and all of this stuff. I just think naturally, the squad, number of these players have been here for a while and they're in different dynamics. Reece Nelson, I know a lot of you forgot his day. He's actually our longest serving player, was there when Wenger was here. I love the guy. It's time to move on. Fabio Vieira, rumours around Hamburg and Nottingham Forest have gone quiet. It's time to move on. Gabriel Jesus, who has been linked with some Turkish clubs, and actually we're going to go over it, clubs in Italy. It's time to move on. Gabriel Jesus and Reece Nelson, that's over 300 bags a week that we could reinvest and put them resources to something else. You throw in the Fabio Vieiras and all the other stuff, you get where I'm going. So yeah, smash the like button. Hopefully I've got the creative juices flowing. We're going to get into everything. Hand of Arsenal and Romano seem quite bullish where Morgan Rogers is concerned. I think we all are. I've been watching all the interviews where he's saying, oh, I like to play centrally. Everyone's put me as a winger. You know, I'm dangerous as a winger. I think he'd be the perfect player, man. I genuinely do. I feel Eze, Odegaard and Rogers, I'd love to see you all on the pitch and have different options. Throw in a Gomares, a Rice and all the other options that we've got. There's exciting things we could do. But I just think off the ball, obviously, off the ball, Odegaard understands the system and not a lot in it. In terms of X Factor and all that kind of jazz, Eze's the one. I do think off the ball, because he's been with Unai Emery and all of those things, I think Arteta will love him off the ball. Arteta will love what he could do. I can see at some point in playing him as a false nine in one of the midfield three positions. Obviously, the easiest way to get Rodgers in the team at the moment is on the left. I'm going to keep saying this. People, and I know he got an assist against Argentina. People forget about his abilities to play on the right. If it's not Bukayo Saka at his best of form, my second in the command at this moment in time is Max Dowman. I'd love to continue that. I'd love to throw Rodgers into there. Big up Noni Madueke as well. And I want to ask you, like, do you genuinely think we could get Morgan Rogers and Gomares? Because a part of me thinks yes, a part of me thinks no. And like, I want us to do this Alex Ferguson thing, man. Like, that's what Alex Ferguson did, bare things. But as a 31-year-old man, Alex Ferguson obviously took Van Persie, but way before that, he would sit there and go, oh, Man United got a good team. this one's a good player over there. That one, you cherry pick the other players from other clubs and just keep it moving. Of course, there's other targets. And again, I'm more looking at the profiles because with Rodgers, you tell me difference maker, chaos, versatility, and someone that can play amongst other positions indirectly, being linked with Morgan Rodgers. For me, anyways, being linked with Nico Paz, being linked with Ken and did this. These lot can play all about the place. But if we was going into this summer, some people would have fancied a striker. I would have definitely said we needed more of a Tomiyasu Timber defender. It's probably changed a bit now. I want a centre back that can play right back. Obviously, owing to Saliba's issue. I've been banging on about centre mid, but they would be my priorities, innit? But based on the links, even though I think we're flooded in those creative roles, on paper, you got Eze, you've got Odegaard, you've got Wanyeri, Kai Havertz, and Marino play there. That tells me the club is looking for that, innit? So the profile, if you can't get Rodgers, the profile. Bruno Gomara is the same logic. Someone that can play as a 6 and an 8. The profile. So yeah, that's all the spill I've got, people. But what you lot saying in the chat before we continue this thing? Big up you lot. We need Bacola. I'd rather Rodgers. Obviously, in terms of skill set, Bacola's probably what we're missing. But a lot of what I'm not saying who's the better player. I'm just Noni Madueke, Martinelli, Bacola. We would the same frustrations we would have about Bacola, we'd have about them two. We're already uncertain in the attack already. Some of it is down to, I would say, can we get more consistency from a Eze, from a Gyökeres? Can we get Saka back up to his form? Big up Trossard and what he's done for the club, legend, cult hero, all that stuff. But we know what Martinelli, we know Martinelli's consistency over a 38-game period. We know Trossard, we know the frustration. Obviously, whatever I think about their players, there is a dynamic of Arteta maybe needs to evolve stuff. Yes, teams are setting back in low blocks and doing all this stuff against us, but I do think there's some evolution. I can't just say it's the players. So there's a lot of uncertainty. I don't really want to bring uncertain players. If we get Bacola, I'd love him. You see if the penny could drop for Bacola. If we went for him a year ago, I know it's different versus Noni. I'm on that. But I see this all the time. People like Bacola, you're either going to go up the gears now or this is how you're going to play for the rest of your career. Nobody's watched him in this World Cup and been moved over 90 minutes. Of course, in space, he's got a lot of qualities. I'm not dissing him. I would be ecstatic if we signed him. But again, just using your brains and looking at what you're seeing, you've not been moved by anything Bacola's done in 90 minutes in this World Cup. If it takes 3 actions to score a goal, then he does 2 of the 3 quite well. His best moments have come in open space. Yes, you're going to get that in the Premier League, but realistically, you're not really going to get that. So that's why I think you need the tool of pace in the squad. You don't necessarily need that left wing because it's congested. Look at the dynamics. What you're seeing at the World Cup is a reflection on club football. It's congested, it's tight. There'll be moments the games kind of open up. It's systemic football in the Premier League. The ball is in play less than it's ever been in current times. There's an emphasis on dead balls and set pieces. I think you need the tool of pace. You're never going to be against that. And maybe that's why you're seeing a premium for Gordon, maybe even a Martinelli, Bacola, etc. And obviously, they don't want to let him go. We was led to believe he's got a deal until 2027. He's got a deal until 2028. So that might be one where PSG say, listen, regardless of what we're doing, we're keeping you for a year. Maybe if he doesn't sign a new deal in that time, this time next year, maybe that's someone. So yeah, man, that's where I'm at with it. I'll be over the moon when we bring Rodgers to the carpet. You're not alone. Smash the like button, as Hyper said. DG2, one love. Matt, one love. As he said, bring me Rodgers. Big up yourselves, man. Without you lot, the platform's dead. Bruno G is a difference maker and an injury-free season. I look at the West Ham game, bro, because we know if we don't have... I wouldn't know. Who would you lot say is Arsenal's most important player? There's many players that could lay claim to that throne. If Saka's fit and thriving, we don't really have a consistent goal scorer. You could say him. I think when we have these conversations, we know David Raya's good, but we don't really throw him into that mix. You could say it's Saliba or Gabriel. You could say it's Declan Rice. And I would probably lean towards it being Declan Rice, only because we'd miss all of these players, yeah. But if you told me we're missing a player for 5 to 10 games, we'd miss Saliba. But I think we could get on with it. Gabriel, the same logic. Saka, the same logic. And it's not to say that it's not that. At Declan Rice, there's no reality, bro. Like, there's no reality. Remember the West Ham game? The minute Rice went right back, we're in a shithousery. Like, it took a while to get Miles Lewis-Skelly to us as a fan base, like, in the fold in midfield. Obviously, it came out. He was training in midfield and that. Clearly, whether it's because Zubamendi fell off a cliff too much or Arteta felt he was ready, threw him in. Zubamendi was sick in the first half of the season. A lot of it. For me, I think he's homesick, man. I actually think it's nothing to do with ability. My hot take is, I think he might want to cut back to Spain at some point. But whether it's that, whether it's overplaying, whether it's physically needs to improve, because I think when the games are open, Zubi looks a bit shook. We needed that other midfielder. And for me, if you get Bruno Gomares, you've got Rash, you've got Lewis Skelly, you've got Zubamendi, It's 50 plus games a season. You do have the Kais and the Marinos mix and blend in the middle of the park and many other options. I'm cool with that, you know. So it could be a difference maker. It's a great pivot, Rice and Gomares. Obviously, I don't think Bruno Gomares has the legs, anything like Rice, if I'm honest, but it gives us someone suitable to at least feel somewhat comfortable if Declan isn't there, man. Bacola is suspect. His finishing is rocky. I'm having him, but I think personally, when you get to 23, 24, of course you can still improve. But like Wenger used to say, this is when you kind of have to start coming into your own, if I'm honest. Like the penny has to drop. And if it's not dropped now, to a degree, it is what it is. We should go for Somerville left wing. Rodgers 8 out of 10. Somerville is very direct pacing as end product. If Somerville was a market opportunity for the squad, great. I'm not really for it because you got this Zolis guy. Like that's what I would be looking at. Somerville, you're coming in to mix and blend with the squad. Like if it's not Rodgers and almost irrelevant from Rodgers, I couldn't tell you who, couldn't tell you where, couldn't tell you how, but the next left winger for me, in their own way, has to be a difference maker. Whether you've spent, apologies, people, whether you spent 100 odd million or you found that emerging talent, if that makes sense, man. Straight cannon, big up yourself. I know we very rarely agree, but you're part of the channel, man. Big up DG, 90 mil, 40 mil, both Villa players. For me, with Cons, it depends on the P's, like you're saying, man. Like, if I'm honest, if football was an ideal world, I'll be saying 35 million. He's got 2 years left on his deal. I think 40 million, I'll call it quits. With the Premier League, with what I would say Premier League tax, 50 odd million quid, that should be all in. Like that should be able to get us Konza. Obviously, in the present day and age, he's a key player for Villa. They've been ransacked a bit for players. Obviously, he's an England international. They're going to want more than that. So if you can get a cheeky little deal for Konza, then fair play. If not, like he did last year when we were linked with Gurhey and Howson and all of them, somebody, whether it was Berta, whether it's Arteta, whether it was someone's part of the scouting team, someone said, listen, there's a Spanish lad at Valencia for 13 million quid, especially in this day and age, make it happen. So can we use that logic? For what it's worth, just as a player, I don't think the world of Konza, but if we was to sign Konza tomorrow, there's right back options there. You know, there's a right back option because Timber and White pick up a lot of knocks. There's a centre half option there. I wouldn't be against it, innit? But I can't lie, bro. Confirm the Morgan Rodgers thing first. Obviously, I'm not an idiot. Like, if we, as you can see on screen, if we're genuinely in club for club conversations around Rodgers, we need to get that over the line. But there has to be an element of, oh, yo, what are you lot saying for Konza? Like, seriously, what are you lot saying? So there's probably two things happening simultaneously. But confirm the Rodgers thing before you start looking around at all their other players and doing all of those kind of things, man. Just confirm this one first. Then you could do what you want, man. Zubi, Rodgers, and Rice would be nice. Bro, even that, Rodgers is a midfield option. And there's longevity. And obviously, I genuinely think there's a way you can get Rodgers, Eze, and Odegaard in the team. But again, we're Premier League champions now. Odegaard's the captain. He's got to look around. Right, Eze finished the season strong. I need to buck up my ideas. This is my spot. Rodgers comes in. You get where I'm going. Zolis, I know we're not talking about you in this conversation, but we're not here to make friends. You should be looking at Martinelli and saying, boy, I'm coming to take that spot. Martinelli should be looking to hold on to it, etc., etc. I'd sign Leco over Konza, to be honest. So would I, man. But I think Konza might even be an easier deal to do, man. Very confident. It's do we get both and Alvarez? You know me, man. I'm not really giving thoughts to this Alvarez stuff. Of course, you know, my hope would be Barcelona have said, you know what, we can't come to an agreement. Atletico Madrid, you know, with Atletico Madrid, they're being too stingy. Alvarez just sits there and says, you know what, I did want to go Barca. I'm going Arsenal. I'm not really on that now. So confirm your Gomares, confirm your Morgan Rodgers, sell who needs to be sold, bring in all the other players you need to bring in. If there's any penny scratching around and, you know, we're able to take advantage of any like things with the Alvarez thing, great, but I can't say I believe it, man. I'm more optimistic on Morgan Rodgers and or Bruno Gomares. And to be honest with you, I'm naturally pessimistic on these marquee signings. Naturally, as I always say, you're gonna have to forgive me, and maybe I'm a positive omen because I didn't think we get Alexis, didn't think we get Ozil, didn't think we get Aubameyang, didn't think we get Declan Rice, didn't think we get Eze, didn't think we get Gyökeres. So maybe, man, maybe. Think we need a next 3 players to even have a chance to retain the title. Injuries are going to cost us, bro. Beyond the obvious, we know what we need to do tactically to go to the next level, but the best trait you could have is available players. And I give credit to every one of these players. They put their bodies on the line last season. And yes, we won the Premier League, but one season that I remember being angry with Mikel Arteta, those above him, and only having sympathy for the fans and obviously the players. The year we beat Real Madrid, we fucked up that transfer market. We fucked up in January. Players ran themselves into the ground. It was a needs must thing. That was what it got to last season. It was needs must. But we knew this was a ticking time bomb. If Saliba never got injured for France, this was going to happen. Like, how much time can a man take painkillers for a back issue and just soldier it, which he's come out, he's been dealing with that since March. And I don't need to spell to you the Bakayos and the years before that with Bakayo, which led to this, and probably even Declan Rice, etc., man. I think if we get Rodgers, we might get a different style of midfield. I'd love to see Koné, but I think we missed the boat now for him, with him heating over for Man United. That would be a very good signing for Man United, and probably being the one that's the biggest level raiser out of him, Santos, and who else they got? They got someone else, Telemans, if I'm honest, just because of what Koné would give Ameno, give Telemans, give this one, give that one. Smash the likes if you haven't. Still need to get Koné 2 as cover for Rice. I would love it, but it's a myth, man. Rodgers, Bruno, Stones. You see, if it was just on ability and what John Stones is, I'm having John Stones. But unfortunately, Saliba would probably return from injury and play more games than you, John Stones. John Stones is a signal. He will form a great partnership with Saliba in the physio room. I'd love to be wrong. I'm not trying to be nasty, but we did this a few streams ago. We saw the amount of games he's played in the last few. It's scary. You throw in Arsenal injury tax. We're never going to see Jonathan Stones, man. Afternoon, man. Get Lecole to Arsenal. Arteta would nerf Bacola. He's nerfed himself. Making that comparison is too lazy, brother. It's not even close. You're not listening. And respectfully, this is someone who wants Bacola, wanted him at Lyon, and it's defo not lazy. He's defo not lazy. You're not listening. Noni Madueke, Martinelli, and Bacola, they're three very different players, but they all have similar things. The end product isn't there. They'll get in behind. They make things feel like it's happening. It's not. How can you tell me this when I've shown you evidence several times? Are you silly? You know how frustrating Bacola is? Show me your working out since you're saying this lazy. Show me your working out. It's 2-3 actions. If it's 3 actions to score, what happened? Really and truly, we should have lost the Champions League final. We did lose it, but what happened? Bacola missed an opportunity. He's done that for France as well. He only looks good in open play and open space. There's some games he's going to look like a maverick. There's others he's not. Do we not say that about Noni? Do we not say that about Martinelli? Not who is better. These all have the same kind of traits. We've seen a million players play like that. We need to go back to 2022-23 settings. We was bossing everyone. The game's changed though, man. It's changed a bit. Do you think we still get another left winger if we get Rodgers, as I see him as a left wing, as a left 8 or 10? No. Because he can play there. Eze can play there. Martinelli is there. Zolis is there. I guess there's a couple man that could be moved around. No, if I'm completely honest with you. If there's a market opportunity, great. But these marquee names, like just for example, somebody mentioned Bacola. I couldn't see that, man. Are we in for Somerville? We was linked with him. He looks like he's going Roma. Somerville is cheaper than Bacola. We need to spend smart now. Raya most important, says V. Big up the champion, Sadiq. One love. Any truth with the AI area link? Who's that? What's that? I don't know what that is, man. We have won games without Rice. We won games without all of them. Like, but what's the one I'd be the most nervous about? I'd be like, Rice, the man's a lighthouse, innit? Especially when he went back to that 6. We lose a lot with Rice. We lose a lot. Obviously, you could say Raya as well. No one ain't trying to see Millier in goal. I don't want to lose Gabriel or Saliba, but maybe owing to if everybody's fit, how good our options are, we could maybe maneuver. Saka throwing down when we can make it happen. If there's no Rice, again, forget Gomares, forget Rodgers, forget all of this. Deal with what is on paper at this club. It's Lewis Kelly and Zubamendi. And if it's the Zubamendi of the first half of the season, I feel a lot better. If it's Zubamendi the second half, and then you pose a question: do you just change the way you play? Do you put Zubi as a 6, and then do you play 2 8s? And then if I'm completely honest with you, I think you'll see Kai Havertz in the middle of the park. Should definitely bring in Somerville. Rice is as he's the engine in midfield, but Raya as well. He was key to many victories last season with them elite saves and obviously defense. Which left wing attacker gives opposition teams more fear, Bacola or Rodgers? It depends. In tight spaces, definitely Rodgers. If there's space, Bacola. Rodgers over Bacola. Saliba out for 4 to 5 months. Rice might miss the start of the season. Defo need another centre mid and centre back. Any truth with the Alvarez links? If you're asking for truth in that, do I think Arsenal are hopeful of a deal, or they have admiration for him? They'd like to do a deal, yes. But with the chase impact, the man's got Barcelona. Unless Barcelona and Atletico Madrid say F this, it's a madness. And to be fair, it's going to take a while. The World Cup's not done yet. Obviously, he's going to return to Atletico, and he's probably going to reiterate his message that he wants to cut. In the last 24, 48 hours, Atletico Madrid advisors and high-ranking officials on Barcelona, they're doing the poker face thing. So who knows, man? I'd be the least pessimistic. Like I said, Gomares, Rodgers, Alvarez. I'm the least optimistic, I should say, on Julian. Rodgers would bring pace, power, and the ability to thrive out wide or centrally. Williams, I'm with you. Not sure why we keep Zubi. There's money there. I didn't think we'd miss him much. Now we have to keep Zubi, especially because there's no midfielder in now, man. Zubi's a bad boy. Zubi staying. Zubi staying. It's up to Zubi now, though, because if you do get Gamard, you have got Rash, you have got Lewis Kelly, you have to buck up your ideas, innit? Or you're not going to play. If Raya didn't have the boys in front of him, I think he might have conceded more goals this season. The back four do the job to help Raya. But that's how it works, Hayden. Because there's many times the back four, like Raya's bought you a couple of clean sheets. But that, I'm not saying you're saying this, but I'm sorry, but ain't that what a team does? Like, ain't that what a team does? So they all deserve their equal credit, man. Big up yourself, Trouble. We should sign Loco, smash the like button. Gibbs White finished the season playing left wing and was scoring for fun. Not convinced about Rodgers for what he would cost. To be fair, I'd rather Rodgers over Gibbs White, but Gibbs White's a baller. I'm surprised. You never know. Maybe Nottingham Forest have reiterated he's not for sale, etc. But especially where there's a lot of English players apparently on the move and being linked. Considering he was in with a whisker of going Spurs last year, I'm surprised there's nothing around Gibbs White. But you never know, man. You just never know. LC, one love. Eze, Odegaard, and Rodgers, that's ultra attacking and reminds me of a previous time. It does, you know. It does. I don't know, man. If it was just ability, I'm having John Stones. I think the illusion of what Stones would be in my mind is a lot better than the reality. I genuinely don't think we'd see him. Arsenal are in for Koundé. They agreed personal terms too. Telemans might be the signing of the season. Baller. Do you think Arteta is looking to make us control more games next season in terms of style of play? We already control games in terms of style of play, though. Like, we already dominate possession. We already move it side to side, left to left. So maybe if you're talking domination, like the tiki-taka stuff, I hope so. Be interesting. And again, I don't really feel our football needs to change that much. I think there just needs to be environments to let our attackers thrive. And I think our attackers need to buck up their ideas, if I'm honest with you. Why can't we go for Trent as right back, then put Timber in his natural position? I mean, is Trent in a rush to leave Real Madrid? I don't know, man. I do think this country has been robbed of seeing Bukayo Saka and Trent Alexander-Arnold. V, love for the super chat. Big up Deluded Guna. Do you fancy Liao? Another one that's hot. I'd rather Bacola over him. I like Liao, but it's not even that I don't like you or dislike you. 38 games. I'm not asking you to do it for 38 games. But for the vast majority of them games, do I think I'm going to see a high level of consistency? Probably not. I like his skill set. I like what he could be. But another one where the illusion is a lot better than the reality. It's just consistency with him. Now, if we signed him and that, great. Rodgers is a 10 who can play left wing. We need a natural left winger. SA, I appreciate you. Harry Kane hasn't signed his new contract yet. There are rumours to Man City. Do you think that then makes Kai Havertz an option for Bayern Munich? I guess it could be. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't care about where Rodgers plays. Just get him. We'll solve that problem later. I'm on that still. A bit like with Eze, innit? A bit like with Eze. How much for the Forest Brazilian centre-back Murillo? I mean, last time I checked, 70 million. He'd be great, man. But he's left-footed though, man. We tried Eze left wing and it didn't work as well, we hoped. Why do the same thing again? Better to get a natural left winger and sign Rodgers for squad depth as well. Arsenal sign Koundé. We're not grabbing him, man. Musquera and Hincapié have more than enough quality to cover for Saliba for the early stint of the season. I don't see the point of getting Timo Saliba from Palace Loco. Cons, I think you're misguided though, man, because Hincapié is left-footed. So what does that mean? That means we're going to have to test out new relationships. Remember, there was a period where we didn't have both centre-backs and both were missing how dark it looked. And also, it's not that you're wrong, but do the maths, bro. Like, genuinely do the maths. One, everybody gets injured. Two, they're saying everything from 3 to 5 months. Now, Saliba could come back sooner. He could come back later, in which you're looking at December, January. Obviously, think about that. It's not just, how the season starts in August, you're playing 1 game a week. Very quickly, it's going to turn into 2 games a week, 3 games in 10 days. The games are coming thick and fast. People are getting minutes in their legs. Obviously, if he was to come back within that period stated, on top of the football they've played, some at the World Cup, some probably feeling the knock-on effects of last season, you've got 2 international breaks. And then you've got to remember, this is football. Footballers getting injured, getting suspended, loss of form, all these kind of cramps, all these kind of things. It's like chefs cutting their hands. We'll be in for a rude awakening, and with the greatest of respect, I hope to God Arsenal Football Club do not share your opinion. We need another one, bro. You're going to be in for a rude awakening. It's better to, what's that saying? It's better to have it, something, I can't remember the saying, but it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it, or something along those lines. That's what's required, man. Man said, when is teacher getting signed with Jordan and Gabby on this team? Madman. Should we see what's going on in the papers, though? Well, you know what I mean, internet. Arsenal and Aston Villa, according to Hand of Arsenal, are engaging in club-to-club talks for the transfer of Morgan Rogers. Senior members from both clubs are in direct contact. Personal terms are no issue. Now, it feels like this is accelerating fast. We're told after the World Cup things are happening. You'd imagine personal terms can't be an issue because we probably started talking with him and his advisors a long time ago. It's interesting that we're engaging in club-to-club talks. So there's a willingness, at least from Aston Villa, to hear us out, and at least from Arsenal to hear them out. But again, when it comes to this, Rogers can like us, we can like him. I'm really just interested in fees agreed, medicals done, people holding shirts, grew up watching Thierry Henry, all this kind of jazz. And then we can start doing make-believe starting 11s and how does he get in the team and all of that kind of jazz. It does correlate, though, what Fabrizio Romano said when he said Arsenal are now set to accelerate on Morgan Rogers' deal, top target as new winger, as always mentioned. Talks already advanced on the player side and separate from the Zolis deal. Arsenal always wanted both. No talks with Bacola so far. Full focus on Rodgers, people. So yeah, again, everyone and their dog is reiterating the same thing. People that follow in England going out the World Cup, but not really going out the World Cup because you got this bullshit third place playoff. We're set to make a move for Aston Villa star Morgan Rogers. And we've set our sights on the forward who Aston Villa value at 130 mil. He's fully focused on England or what's left of England. Talks over a deal for Rogers are expected to accelerate after that. And Arsenal are confident personal terms will not be an issue. So next week, off the bat, it's going to be completely dominated with Rogers rumours, isn't it? Mikel Arteta is keen to add to his squad as they look to defend their Premier League title. We know we've had a quiet market so far. We know Saliba's unfortunately injured, and apparently Aston Villa's Ezri Konsa would be an ideal signing as he could provide competition at right back and in the heart of defence. What's this? 2025-26 Aston Villa's Morgan Rogers. 37 games, created 47 chances, 10 goals, 6 assists, 32 shots on target, 1,068 passes, and was fouled 46 times. We've been linked with Real Sociedad centre-back Jean Martin. I like him, you know. I think physically in the Premier League have to bulk up. I think you got the necessary bravery. I think you'd fit our ethos. I like him, man. What's he like, 20? He can't be that old. So there's obviously that. But as a little stopgap, I don't mind. Yeah, well, bang on, 20. Oh, he's an Aries. Bring him. Bring him. Bring him. 4 years old when Spain won the World Cup. It's crazy. People are born in 2006, innit? 6'1", so he's not the tallest, but yeah, man. Decent player. Like I said, I like his ball playing abilities. I like his willingness to defend. He would fit the kind of Spanish ethos I see. I wouldn't say I'll pull up any trees, but he is young and all that kind of jazz. Don't imagine Sociedad would make it easy for us because he has been linked with Real Madrid and these things, but he might not break the bank. Obviously, we've shopped at Sociedad a couple of times, isn't it? So yeah, man. He's another player thought to be on Arsenal's radar, and sporting director Andrea Berta likes having multiple targets. A new left winger is a priority for the Gunners, and that is behind their interest in Rodgers. There will also be scope to use him centrally, however, and that would bring more variety to Arsenal's attack. PSG winger Bradley Bacola is another player admired by the Gunners, while they hold an interest in Julian Alvarez too. Yesterday, we was re-linked with Krupi of Bournemouth as well, folks. Atletico Madrid, however, are adamant that the Argentina striker will not be sold this summer. Obviously, this is about Alvarez. Barcelona and Real Madrid have had bids of over 100 million turned down. Yesterday, the Atletico CEO Miguel Angel Gil said, I have no doubts that Atletico is the place in the world for Julian Alvarez and that Julian is the perfect striker for Atletico. We don't want to transfer him. We won't accept 100 million euros, nor will we accept 150 million euros or 200 million euros. I'm reading two things at once. Everybody's popping out their chest in it because at the end of the day, my man's focused on the World Cup final. Everybody, Laporte is coming out and saying madness as well. Arsenal also want to bring in a midfielder this summer and have identified Newcastle captain Bruno Guimaraes as a target. The Magpies, however, insist they will not let the Brazilian go after already selling Anthony Gordon and Sandro Tonali this summer. So what do you lot make of that, people? Zolis moved to Arsenal as a done deal. Apparently, the player will travel to London tomorrow for a medical, and you would have seen his advisor speak. What would you lot say to this? Because I like Koundé, but I don't really trust you at right back and centrally. But if they really were saying 40, 50 million for Konsa, I rate you a lot more than I rate Konsa. And it says here, Barca would listen to offers for Koundé, but only for around 50 to 60 million euros. Bayern Munich have made inquiries, but are reportedly unwilling to go beyond 40 million euros, a figure Barcelona consider insufficient. Would you not do that? I would, if rumors were gospel, I would. Koundé, everybody fit. Koundé, White, provided he stays. Koundé, White, Saliba, Mascara, Gabriel, Saliba, Hincapié, Calafiori, Asterix, if needed. Miles Lewis-Skelly at left back. And I even want Miles Lewis-Skelly on occasion to continue playing left back, man, just because if there's games where we're dominating possession, yeah, on paper, Lewis-Skelly starts at left back, go in midfield, and then it frees up midfield spots. Bro, if we pattern up, there's so many options, and it's scary. Maybe for Arsenal fans, but it's good scary for us. Bad scary for the pagans, man. We're Premier League champions. We already know the pain reached an unbearable level. Just Didier Champs talking about Saliba. Tests have been carried out. His condition hasn't worsened. He's had this since March and has been gritting his teeth, but the pain had reached an unbearable level. I mean, like I said, we knew this was going to happen. And obviously, I'm not accusing Saliba of anything here, but I get it. But I put myself in Saliba's shoes. This is why I've always pushed back when people say footballers don't care. Saliba's been feeling this. I remember the last time to be fair, when he had that back injury in 2023, that was the end of our title shout. He's been dealing with this all season, right? So he's been gritting his teeth. We're trying to win and not just him, everyone. Wow, we're trying to win a Premier League. Fuck it, like painkiller me up. Do all of these things. I know one day I'm gonna have to address this, but right now we're holding it. You get to a Champions League final where you're feeling pain. I don't want to miss out. Rightly so. I want to play in a Champions League final. This is what we've been building to. But you're not really fully fit. Logically, you should have missed out on the World Cup. Maybe just took the L, had your operation, rested, whatever. But rightly so. You want to play in the World Cup, so you put your body on the line. This is what's happening with a lot of ballers. Rice is the same. Saka is the same. So we knew this was going to, if it never happened now, it was going to happen at some point. Like it would, if we know this, Arteta and them man are not idiots. I think we've gone over the Julian Alvarez stuff. Apparently, according to Sport out of Spain, Arsenal are pushing hard to convince Alvarez to join us. Elijah Upson. So we have got a defender signed, people. The son of Matthew Upson. Here we go. Agreement signed today for the 18-year-old centre-back to join the Gunners project. Upson turned down a new contract at Spurs to join Arsenal for long-term. All set to be announced. Welcome, man. I don't think there's anything there. Zolis was admitted yesterday from a friendly for Club Brugge. He's travelling to London to do his medical. You already know that. We could be, in line for some other money because Everton are looking, along with Fulham and Brentford, to sign Brooke Norton-Cuffy in a deal expected to be 20 million. We've got a sell-on clause, so we'll probably get a few quid. Team Talk understands Arsenal are now preparing for the possibility of William Saliba requiring surgery on a back injury, a procedure that could sideline him for the remainder of the calendar year, forcing the club to reassess their defensive strategy. And also, bro, we would have been if he is out for the rest of the year, there's 3 competitions there, 3 games in 10 days. January comes. Obviously, there's the FA Cup. And again, let's just assume worst case scenario. January the 1st, Saliba is signed off. We all know that don't necessarily mean, okay, you're signed off today. That means you can play 90 minutes today. It's going to have to be eased in. And again, when you've not played any football, you are going to get cramps and little niggles, and there could be setbacks and things. So we need to be able to react and be proactive in certain scenarios. Arsenal entered the summer looking to sign a new right back, ideally a versatile option who could compete with or potentially replace Ben White. Arsenal are now increasingly inclined to keep White while also signing another defender. Sasha Trevanelli has said Arsenal and Aston Villa are in direct discussions to find an agreement for Morgan Rogers, with negotiations progressing positively. A new meeting is scheduled for next week to finalise the final details of the transfer, which should reach around 100 million euros. Again, Barcelona president, in relation to this whole Alvarez stuff, I respect everyone's opinion. We made an offer for Julian, and there it is. At a certain moment, probably at the end of July, we will say that the validity of that offer has ended. So again, the mind games have started up literally next week. In the next 2 weeks are going to be very vital in whatever the hell Julian Alvarez is doing with his life and career. Marino, ahead of the final, has been speaking and has apparently been speaking about Lautaro Martinez. For no player is starting on the bench the ideal game plan. However, both Lautaro and I, as top players, go on, Marino, talk your shit. Euros win, a Premier League win, a Champions League, talk your shit, my guy. Slapped it. Well, you ended Cristiano Ronaldo's thing for Portugal. You ended someone else. Hopefully end what Argentina got going on. Talk your shit, top player, man. Talk your spill. I love that. Love to see the confidence, because I remember back in Marino when you lot called him rubbed. I remember him saying little things like, oh, forgive me, my English ain't perfect. And English is fine. Talk your shit, man. However, both Lautaro and I, as top players, find ourselves in this situation because we're part of an incredibly strong national team. And both he and I must value all of this, the level of our teammates and the magnitude of the competition. Come on, Double M, man. Come on, Double M. It's about trying to help out every time you step onto the pitch. And if you don't play, it's fine, even in training. Because if you win a title, it belongs to everyone, not just the 11 who start the matches. And that's how we see it here. One of the best clutch players in the world at this moment in time, man. Big up yourself, Marino, man. Big up yourself. Big up yourself, Messi. The rest of your teammates, fuck them, if I'm honest. Don't need to go over this, people. Oh, yeah, we do. I thought this was something else. We have been linked with an exit for Gabriel Jesus, and apparently we've reduced our asking price to 20 million, and it's still not low enough. So it was higher than that. Didn't we hear that we want 20 million? I'll be amazed if you get 20 million. Berto and them man know more than me. But at the end of the day, Gabriel Jesus is a good player, but you've had 2 big injuries. You're on big money. Yes, no one's going to pay you them wages elsewhere, but you're going to get something healthy. The end of the year, if you're a foreign club, you could talk to him for free. And obviously, in terms of long-term fitness, you haven't seen that. So add all of that together, I'll be amazed if we get money for Jesus. I'm more looking at it, free up the wages. Arsenal may have to lower expectations if they want to move Gabriel Jesus this summer. The Brazilian's future has been one of the most persistent stories surrounding the Gunners in recent weeks. In addition to everything else we read, he's also been linked with teams in Turkey. And have you not seen Mohamed Salah could go to Besiktas? Trossard and back Mohamed Salah. Oh, it's nasty for Besiktas fans, isn't it? AC Milan, Juventus, Atletico Madrid have all been linked to the striker. Meanwhile, Gabriel Jesus himself has reportedly spoken about his long-term dream of returning to his former club, Palmeiras. More recently, though, reports from Brazil suggest his immediate priority remains staying in Europe. Preferably, he wants to stay in England. He was linked with Everton in June, but those clearly were just rumours, isn't it? Before eventually heading back to South America. Milan trying to push Arsenal's price down. According to journalists, Arsenal set an asking price of 23 million euros, 20 million pounds for Gabriel Jesus. The player has just 1 year remaining on his contract. Pardon me, and he might be deluded. Sorry, the pun. He might think, you know what, fully fit me. I can help this squad for one. I might be able to take left wing. He might think I'm better than Kai Havertz and Gyökeres. He might want to run down his contract because you're not going to get this piece anywhere else. You're going to get your loyalty bonus. Being a free agent means you're more attractive. And from a working point of view, yes, man can be happy about not playing football, but your family's happy here. The manager, like beyond the injuries and stuff, you as a person, the manager will have you here. You get where I'm going, in it. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see. That figure is lower than the 30 million euros in brackets 26 million valuation reported elsewhere in Brazil recently. However, it remains enough for Milan to try negotiating. Journalists say the Rossoneri are currently the strongest candidates for Gabriel Jesus. They are attempting to reach an agreement with Arsenal for a fee below the club's valuation. Juventus and Atletico Madrid are also said to have made inquiries. We have covered their interest a few times. However, neither club has progressed to a formal offer at this stage. And I mean, it seems like Kolo Muani is the Juventus one. Maybe if there's messing about there, it puts Jesus back in the frame. The report also claims Arsenal are not actively looking to sell the striker despite putting a price on a potential deal. Perhaps the most interesting update concerns Gabriel Jesus' own plan. Nicola claims Palmeiras would actually have the financial capacity to match Arsenal's asking price, but that is currently not the issue. Instead, the striker reportedly intends to remain in Europe for another 2 or 3 years before returning to Palmeiras. There he hopes to spend the final years of his career. For now, Milan appear to be leading the chase. This could change if Arsenal and Gabriel Jesus do decide that this summer is the right time to part ways. Whether the Italian club can persuade Arsenal to lower their 20 million valuation could now become one of the key talking points of the transfer saga. So we're going to have to draw whatever conclusions. There could be a loan move for a young Arsenal defender, people. Understand West Ham are considering a loan move for versatile Arsenal defender Jayden Dixon, 29, signed for Arsenal from Stoke City last summer and made his senior debut, as you know, in the FA Cup against Mansfield. Apologies. That might tell you Wan-Bissaka's on the move. There's a lot of games in the Championship. You know what, Dixon? Go get some first-team football. You know, provided you're going to get football, that's a good loan spell for you. And again, it might put you either in the shop window to have a future at Arsenal, or that might make us a bit of quid. Be interesting to see what happens with Jayden Dixon and Marley Salmon. Obviously, we know Salmon's going to be here, but at this moment in time, if I'm Arsenal, at least for pre-season, you lot aren't going anywhere until I rise up a defender. Like, we need to make sure we've got things that we need to do. Court Offside have been speaking about Loco and kind of speaking about his interest in Chelsea, and Arsenal have been mentioned, people. Apparently, his valuation has risen to 65 to 70 million euros. Source for Court Offside said Chelsea have made Loco their priority and efforts are still ongoing to get a deal done. Palace won't make it easy, though. Their initial asking price of 55 million euros has risen now quite substantially. Now, I don't always subscribe to this, but guys like this, the minute they're in the World Cup squad, they've gone up a few quid. You got to get it done before the World Cup. Palace are aware of other clubs circling. Arsenal have been monitoring his situation, and they're now stepping up their interest in a new centre-back following William Saliba's injury. Look out for Liverpool, Manchester United, Manchester City as well. I mean, he'd be a good addition for all those clubs, if I'm brutally honest. And what is this? I was reading this, people. It just basically said several players could leave. It said Everton are still interested in Benjamin White. Wanyeri could potentially be sold. Gabriel Jesus, we've gone over that, people. Norgard has been linked with Crystal Palace amongst other clubs. Fabio Vieira is still here. You would imagine Carl Hein has moved on a permanent basis to Werder Bremen, people. Reece Nelson may leave. At this point, you might as well just rip up the contract, innit? Why did I do that? That was annoying. Apologies, folks. I don't know why I did that. But yeah, that's the transfer news part. Let me get back into what you lot are saying, man. The right back market has gone very quiet the last week or so. So many we're getting a surprise, but I feel like they might keep White for another season. I think Ben White stays regardless of what we're doing now, you know. Better to have a fire extinguisher and not need it than to need it and not have one on hand. It's about safety. Just recently got a few fire extinguishers at home, recommended purchase. Wow, suddenly Mascara can't cover for Saliba, bro. Covered for him adequately. Nobody suggesting that. Nobody who said he can't cover. The problem is bodies. How many times has more than one injury struck? And the more that you're utilizing these players, the more that you're running into the red zone. There's going to be more injuries. How many times did you see it last season? I don't know who said Mascara can't cover, but fair enough. Go off. Koundé and Konza would be good signings. Koundé mainly played as a right back since he joined Barcelona, but he can play centre back. Previously, his favourite position. Lecole not good enough, in my opinion, for Arsenal. Get that Spanish youth, John Martin from Real Sociedad. He has better numbers than Konza and Lecole, and he's only 20. Perfect backup for Saliba and can play right back too. Hi, DG, bro. Berta and Arteta should go to PSG, put in 110 million bid for Kvaratskhelia, and do the same with Vinny Jr., seeing as Real Madrid wants to sign Elise. 100 million ain't getting you Kvaratskhelia, and it ain't getting you Vinny. I can't lie. It's not going nowhere. And to be honest, Arsenal in theory probably could afford a transfer fee on both. It's the wages, man. So, yeah. It's nothing to do if Mascara is going to be all right. Okay, we don't sign the centre-back. We've got 3-5 months. It's Mascara amongst other. Cool. Mascara gets injured. What now? Mascara gets injured. What now? Or Mascara and Timber are carrying knocks. What now? We can't be so short-sighted, man. 130 mil and he's your man. Signed a 5-year deal last season. The Anderson deal has set the benchmark. I do think we're looking at 100 odd quid, but I'll be amazed if Arsenal spend 130, man. Koundé, what are these options, man? You're horrible, man. Then sell Odegaard and bring in Brahim Diaz. He's way better than Odegaard, in my opinion. I'm not sure about that. John Martin has a 42 million release clause. I thought, unless I read that wrong. We need, what's going on here? We need a right-sided centre-back to protect Saliba long-term future and also to fill in while Saliba is out. Mascara can't play every week until Saliba is injured. I'm not injured. We should have got Ryan from Bournemouth before he went there, man. Koundé is better right-back than centre-back. With Koundé, I'd rather him play centre-back. This is why I love football conversations, man. Imagining mentioning Koundé, have you been watching Barcelona? Man, just want to argue, bro. You're not listening. Run up the likes, as SI said. Yeah, man. Man, I just vexed with stuff, bro. You lot need to go get some front, man. What's wrong with you lot? You'd start Skelly at left back to play him in midfield, lol, instead of just playing in midfield to play in midfield. What? You'd start Skelly at left back to play him in midfield, lol, instead of just midfield to play in midfield. Tetterbrain. I said certain games. If there's a game we're gonna dominate possession, we're gonna be on the front foot, and I want to really leverage that. I might go. Fuck it, Rice, you're there, or I might even go fuck for argument's sake. Eze Rogers, Odegaard, you're in the team. Lewis Skelly on paper, your left back. You're going into midfield so we can further suffocate them. What's wrong with saying that? Before you mock someone, learn to listen. You know, by all means mock my opinions, and I'd rather have Tetterbrain. He's an overthinker. That's why he's a Premier League winner. It sounds good. Come on, man. Before you mock someone's opinion, listen. Actually think. What's going on, man? Chat is driving me mad, honestly. Shut up, man. They say everyone's allowed their opinions. Everyone just take a chill pill. Rice is the... Well, come off with that bullshit, bro. I'm not entertaining that. We need better than Saka. Doesn't matter if it's for the left or right flank. That player needs to be better than what we have. Where are they, though? Noni 3 goals, 1 assist in 26 Premier League appearances for Arsenal. Ryan 5 goals and 2 assists in 15 Premier League appearances for Bournemouth. Why are we not looking at him? Immediately, he's going to cost 100 million now, isn't it? Essentially. You know Rice is good, but since you've been trolling, there it is. So, yeah, man. Odegaard ball off. Real Madrid be crazy to let him go. Arsenal are so horrendous at selling players. These high wages are a problem when selling. Big up DG, smash the likes. But Rodrigo is better off the left, not right wing. Rodrigo's currently injured, bro. I think Lewis Skelly will show his worth and be a dynamic player while Rice is out. 100%. But injury suspensions, these things can strike at any moment. I think a lot of you are being quite short-sighted, man. Say Jesus is flying in pre-season. Would you be tempted to keep him for one last season? Nah, it's done, man. It's done, man. It's done. For Jesus, it's done, man. It's done, bro. It's been real, but it's over, man. It's over now. Like it's time to move on, man. Jesus, and this is with someone that likes him. Jesus needs to go. Enough is enough with the guy. Offers nothing but 7 months of injury, and bro, you're being horrible. And 2 months of goal drought. Arsenal should take anything for him. But I read a few weeks ago, Gabriel Jesus wants to stay in England for British citizenship. Apparently, he's close to qualifying for it. I hope that's not a consideration of his. Otherwise, we're screwed. Bro, he's gonna have to go somewhere else, man. He's gonna have to go somewhere else, man. Yeah, man, I just vexed, bro. Gets run. I V appreciate the super chat again. Wish we signed Kareem Adeyemi instead of Noni. Me too, man. But big up Noni. Honestly, don't know why Arteta wants Rodgers. Him and Eze is basically the same player, same playing style. Both play same position as 10. Same playing style. Big up yourself, Vincent. Rodgers is a good player, but same profile as Eze. Fair enough. And 130 mil can be used for Zolis and Nusard, then Bruno G for 70, and a centre back cover for Saliba is why spending, in my opinion, thoughts. I'm with all of that. I disagree. I think he's quite different to Rodgers, and I'm here for it, man. Getting Jesus wages off the book would be a huge for us recruitment, right? Bro, you get him, you get Reece Nelson and Gabriel Jesus wages off the book. That's 300 grand a week, over 300 grand a week. Couldn't tell you how much Fabio Vieira's on, but let's, for argument's sake, let's just say 50, 60. Start doing the maths. Start playing with stuff, man. Man, Graham Souness, fuck Graham Souness, man. Like, listen, as Arsenal fans, they don't like us to chat shit. How on God's green earth? Bearing in Rice came off the pitch and we conceded. How Rice is getting the flack for that, I don't know. And what annoys me between Elliot Anderson, between Declan Rice, between Kobe Mainoo not playing, you're getting mad at the tools. It's who's using the tools. Because you've got players that offer something completely different in midfield. You left Lewis Skelly at home. Why do you think I told you, look, Lewis Skelly needs to be there? Because when you're in situations like against Argentina, you could have had Lewis Skelly and Nico Riley both on that pitch, or a Lewis Hall. You've got the profiles. The country just don't use them. And I read some interviews from Bayern Munich fans. They said they were probably the only fans on the planet not surprised when Tuchel made the changes when he done, because I think he done that in the semi-finals against Real Madrid. So, yeah, man. They don't like, oh, who cares, man? Like, bro, who cares, man? Like, I very much doubt Declan Rice, anyone connected to Arsenal, when, you know, when it was going left for us and we didn't win anything, they thought, what does Souness think? Same way when it goes well, he's entitled to his opinion. I'm entitled to say fuck his opinion. Like, who cares, bro? Like, who cares? He's made his mind up. Like, people are very disingenuous with Declan Rice. We all know he's not Iniesta and these things, but we all know the quality he brings. The very fact that he's talked about says it all. But opinions are like arse cracks, innit? Everyone's got one, man. Let them talk, man. I know Arsenal fans will always bite the bait. Fuck them. But this is why you need a squad. This is why I don't understand why you're bringing Jordan Henderson. I don't necessarily agree with Elliot Anderson and Rice being the pivot for the country. But you look around, you've got Mainoo. He's not playing, for argument's sake. You've got Adam Wharton. He's not there. This one ain't there. That one ain't there. So this is why I always push back. The country produces players. You just didn't have enough different players for different game states. So when it goes left, you saw what happened. I'd take Galeur, but Real Madrid, you know, the Hendricks, the Galeurs, these kind of men, like, surely Real Madrid would do what they did with Odegaard with them. And what I mean by that is, before they press the trigger to sell these men permanently, they'll go on a loan for a year or two. Maybe thinking can change in a year. Maybe they'll make more money or whatnot. Odegaard would be amazing, man. Half of these guys we're linked to would be great, man. You never not want good players, innit? Rodgers' ability to carry the ball from deep midfield position is something I like, but I like MLS. Arsenal player always gets blamed. They couldn't blame Saka. I've not seen nothing for Kane, who yet again goes to the semi-final when both their centre-backs won the yellow. Fuck him, bro. Big up, bro. I'm scared Vinny ends up at City, meaning a front six of Rodri, Bawardi, Cherky, Doku, Vinny, Haaland. It is where it is, man. Odegaard is better than Galeur and Diaz in the centre mid position. 1,000,000% Diaz. With the players we're being linked to, outside of maybe Alvarez, I see a lot of fine margin games against lower opposition again next season. Exactly. Yeah, all that money just wasting on these players that does nothing, offers the club nothing. Bro, who cares? Yeah, bro, who cares about... Listen, Souness, Premier League legend, I respect it, but I don't give a monkeys, bro. You're allowed to... Who cares, bro? Opinions are like arseholes, bro. Like, fuck them. It's even like in my content creation life, like love for the love. But you see, if you don't... I used to care about people not liking me or people misunderstanding what I said. I really used to push back on my thing. Remember, I used to say, if you're going to get onto me for actually what I said. And I would always want to make sure that if you're going to get onto me, you're actually understanding where I'm coming from. Now, I don't care. Like... Don't give a monkeys, bro. Like, if you're not connected to Arsenal, fuck you, innit? And I'm for the football purist, people that can have banter but can have genuine conversations, not just about my club or all the other clubs. I'm not speaking to you. I have all the time in the world for people that are fans of the game at its purest level, because that's why we're here. See all this agenda stuff and people that are not open to listening or different perspectives. It's suck your mums, man. Pardon my French. That. There's already enough going on in life. I'm sure you lot got busy lives. I defo do. There's a lot that we're concerned with our football club. Who gives a monk, bro? We're talking about Saliba. We're talking about injuries. We're hoping on players being signed. We're hoping that certain players existing get back to their best. We're hoping we win a Champions League and retain our Prem, bro. Who cares what Graham Souness thinks? Come on, man. We're better than that. I would. Mentality shift cost England the game. After they scored, they were scared to lose the lead and they surrendered to Argentina. Desperation to win. Fear got to England players and they never recovered. Facts. And the gaffer. We should really go for Vinny Jr. Reason being he's a proper left winger, pace, skill, and quality. Real Madrid wants to sign Elise last year of Vinny's contract. I mean, have the conversation, but if you're signing Vinicius Jr., you need to be... that's telling me whatever your wage structure is, you might not earn weekly what you got at Real Madrid, but it's going to get broken. And then there's going to be a knock-on effect for any other contract negotiations or any other players. So if Arsenal are willing to do that, bring him tomorrow, bro. They brought Hendo for vibes. Should have been part of the coaching staff, like Jason Still was the fourth goalkeeper. Wharton, MLS would have been a better option. Plus, they have 3-4 future tournaments ahead of them. Tuchel has to hold that, man, if I'm honest. Is there anyone actually confident we get Bruno G? Seems like it's just fizzled out. I'm the most out of the names that out of the pessimistic links for me, or the links I'm most pessimistic about. So Alvarez, Rodgers, Guimaraes. I'd say of the three, I'm most optimistic about Rodgers, most optimistic about Rodgers, least optimistic about Julian Alvarez. Pardon me, indifferent about Guimaraes, if I'm honest. We're so obsessed with Alvarez. Gyökeres is more prolific than him. I mean, for me, and I'm not privy to anything. Maybe Arsenal got some information, but I'm not on harassing a player that, like, as talented as I think he is, and I'd love him. Like, bro, he don't want to be here, innit? Like, he's not on it. So what's the effing point? With that being said, though, man, I respect you lot's time. So in this 50-odd minutes, we've had a fantastic chat. We've gone over everything. I will cut up bits and pieces from this live stream. It can't be done without you. So if you haven't subscribed or smashed the like button, please make sure you're doing that. As usual, thank you very much for your support. You lot go and enjoy your weekend, man, and we'll link up again soon. Like